Alright, so this week we have a whole bunch of iPad mini content, and in this video what I want to talk about is whether or not you should get the iPad mini for school. Now, just to preface this and give you some qualifications as far as my experience goes, I actually have used the iPad Pro 12.9 inch for the last 2 years while I was obtaining my bachelor's degree. Now, I also used the iPad Pro 10.5 inch before I transferred over to my 4-year college, and I have a lot of experience using the iPad Pros for school. Basically, some of the points I'm going to talk about with the mini are super important, and let's just make sure that you purchase the right device for notes, because obviously as a student you don't want to keep purchasing things, transferring things, and wasting your time and money, especially when school is more important than anything else. So let's jump into this video and let's not waste any more time. Alright, so over here I have my regular camera, the Canon 80D, and up above I'm shooting from the 13 Pro. So you're gonna get a good feel for the 13 Pro video quality. Now, when you just take a look at the iPad mini and its form factor, what you're gonna see obviously is just how small this device is. Like, let me show you the 12.9 inch iPad Pro, and now you can get a good feel for the size. So as you can see, there's a drastic difference. You can fit 2 of these within the screen of the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. Now, when it comes to taking notes on this device, you can do a lot. And I've been taking a whole bunch of notes and like planning out some videos and whatnot. Honestly, what I can say is it is very fun to write notes on this. It's super cool because it's the size of a small notebook. And when you think about a small notebook, what do you use that for? Use that for quick notes, use that for like some iPad mini video ideas. So this is going to be a cool video that's going to be coming out, and that should already be up on my channel by the time you're watching this video. And that's how to use your iPad mini as a phone. So I just took some notes, and this has been really fun. But what I've noticed is, like some of my other notes when it comes to, let's find a good class. All right, so let's take a look at one of my dynamic systems classes, and let's just go through some of my notes. So as you can see, there's a drastic difference when it comes to the size of the notes. And what I've noticed is when I go to the, like this is notability, and I go to the smallest line paper size, is that when it comes to writing it, it's not as easy to write within the lines in this neatly, at least on the like a regular paper size, as opposed to writing it on the 12.9 inch. And just for reference, let's just pull this same note up, but on the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. So there you can see like the drastic difference. And this is going to be much more like a regular paper size. And I think that when it comes to writing notes, this is so much more comfortable. And the fact that it's more comfortable will make writing notes super easy, because lectures can go on for 2 hours and sometimes they're 4-hour lectures. And if you're writing on this thing, your hand's gonna cramp. So let's just kind of open up a new note here. And let's just go ahead and just take a sample of writing. Move the bigger iPad out of the way. So when you're writing it, like I already have pretty big hands, as you can see, and if I'm just writing notes, my palm is on the iPad right here. So let's write hello world. Nice too. And as you can see right here, my palm is already starting to come off of it. And this is where the issue kind of rises up if you're taking notes for a long period of time, and that's going to be your hand cramping. It's kind of awkward in a way, because it's not it's not like a regular piece of paper. There's a change in elevation, and that can get very annoying, and that will cause some strain. I've noticed that if I even take notes, like some of these notes I was taking just like all in one go, basically, for some video ideas I had, and my hands started to cramp because of some of these tight corners, and there was not enough screen there. And I could write in basically a smaller pen size, but essentially this is just a little bit easier to do this way with the size of the iPad mini. And this is why I think that if you're going to be taking quick notes, this is the best use case for taking notes on the iPad mini. Now, not everyone is different, and everyone's hand sizes are different, so this will be very specific to you as a person. But that's something that I've noticed coming from the 12.9 inch. So you can see what like that type of size note will translate into this bigger size. So you could fit so much more if you get the iPad, either the 10.9 inch, the 11 inch Pro, or even the 12.9 inch Pro. And essentially, if you're going to be taking notes with school, and especially if you're going to be multitasking, and that's going to be the next point too, multitasking. So essentially, one thing that I did all the time was have my notes, and then I would have like my textbooks open on the side. And as you can see, this is just very, very small. This is like, I would say unusable as far as the size of it goes. And let's just compare it, for example, to this. So you can just see the size difference here, and we'll just open up the same book and the same notes. So like there's just so much more space to work with. And I think if you're in school, you need the space. You need the option to multitask, because it just makes life so much easier. And in lectures, every second of lecture counts, especially with some of those lectures that the professor just speed through the topic. And for me as an engineering student, I couldn't afford to waste any time during lecture. And this is a great tablet to use, and I would imagine this is going to be a really great option for a lot of kids, in elementary school and middle school. But probably high school is where I would say getting the bigger iPads will be more worth it because of the screen size. And obviously in high school, there's usually some kind of growth spurt if it hasn't happened already. And, the kids' hands are going to grow. And that's not the only thing too. The other thing is to consider is battery life. So the iPad mini has good battery life. I have essentially not charged it since yesterday morning, and I've used it quite a bit. So let's just take a look at my usage. I charged it on Sunday at 9:21 a.m. This is now Monday, 5:30, so about a day and a half. And I've had about 5 hours of screen on time. I essentially have done quite a bit of YouTube on here, which will definitely drain the battery. I've had the screen brightness pretty much cranked up all the way, which you won't necessarily have to do in college and taking notes or for school, but that's something that I noticed there. Obviously the size is super portable, and it's a lot lighter than carrying around this 12.9 inch, especially if you're gonna have this keyboard. And when it comes to using the iPad for school, this keyboard can also be a make or break difference. So this is the Magic Keyboard. This doesn't have to be the keyboard that you get for your iPad. What the point is here is that this is a very large keyboard. If you wanted a keyboard that is going to fit the iPad mini size, it's going to be pretty much not usable. And that's something that will kind of get in the way of things. And also, if you're going to be using it like that constantly, you might need to charge your iPad mini more, which means you have to have your charger on campus and obviously a way to charge it. Now, a solution for that could be getting a full-size keyboard, but again, that's an extra thing you have to carry in the bag, and still you can't multitask that well on the screen. If I still haven't sold you on not getting the iPad mini for school and you still want to get it, I do have a video that will be coming out about how to use the iPad mini in a power user type setting. So this is not going to be ideal for a lot of people, but for the people that want the iPad mini and really want to use it like a power user and kind of replace an iPad Pro, maybe, then that video will be great for you. But this is still a great tablet. I just don't think it will be the best tablet for school. Now, if you're only going to use the tablet for reading and reading textbooks, essentially for that, you can read it. It's a very nice e-reading size. And from that point of that perspective, you'll be perfectly fine with this. Yeah, so when essentially this size is really good for reading books. Now, if you're going to take notes, you're going to do anything like that, this will not be the tablet for you at all when it comes to using it for school. Essentially, if you're going to use the iPad for school, my strongest recommendation would be the 10.9 inch iPad Air or the 11 inch iPad Pro. And there's for a few reasons. One is to save a bit of money, because I know as a college student, you may not have all the money in the world, and spending more money on things related to school, other things related to school, would be more important to you. Now, when it comes to using the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, I think it's fantastic for notes. I just think it's a little bit too big now that I'm out of school and I'm not taking notes constantly. Obviously, battery life will be an important role as far as using your tablet, and I think the larger iPads will give you enough battery to get you through the day. If you're interested to see more iPad mini content, then make sure you stick around. I still love the iPad mini, and I haven't fully decided whether I'm going to keep it or not, but I really like it. And I want to know from you down in the comments below which iPad you use for school or which iPad you're planning on getting for school. And let's just have a discussion about this and make it fun and, respectful down there in the comments. And don't forget, until next time, to take it easy with some tea.